Okay, memoirs can be presented in a variety of different ways or forms, such as a picture book, a short story, or poems. When writers start to think about the subjects and content of their memoirs, they also consider their purpose, their audience, and the form or the way in which they will present their memoirs. Memoir is a narrative text type. Narratives are stories that follow a sequential structure or sequence of events. Narratives or memoirs can take different forms. Sometimes they're picture books like Thank You, Mr. Falker and The Other Side. Sometimes they're a collection of short stories or memories like Marshfield Dreams. Today we're going to focus on another way memoir writers express their special memories through poetry. Donald Graves uses poetry to present his memories. His emotional and reflective poems capture the experiences, adventures, joys, and struggles of growing up. Let's take a look at the cover of Baseball, Snakes, and Summer Squash. This is a compilation or collection of poems that represent different memories from his childhood. I'm going to share the contents page with you so that you can see the types of memories that he'll be sharing. First baseball glove, the new land, rags, rabbit, the bully, Elizabeth, the desk, making pies with grandfather, growing pains, the fireman, multiplication, the night before fishing season opens, chicken pox, the winter, summer squash, fireworks, lost in a book, learning to ride a bike, the lie, Rags has puppies, stealing wood from Mr. Sweet, snakes, weeding with Dad, doing dishes, thunderstorm, handwriting, the spanking, fishing for conger eels, last touch, geography, the accident, not from anywhere, giggling in church, muscles, I'm being sent to my room, faking it, the big field, the bark of love, explorers. So notice that you can tell that he writes about people and animals in his life. Elizabeth, the bully, and his pet Rags. He also writes about things like his first baseball glove and chicken pox, as well as memorable moments like being lost in a book and learning to ride a bike. Each poem is like a snapshot. It briefly describes an experience or person and a feeling. Okay, first we're going to read the baseball glove. The baseball glove. Strike, George yells. I pitch the tennis ball. George catches. Bah, he says, just like he's heard the umpire say in Yankee Stadium. Dad, come downstairs from our city apartment and watch us for a minute while we throw the tennis ball. Come with me, he says. We're going to Sears. He sounds excited. He walks fast like he's going places, and he can't wait to get there. We go straight past toys to sports. Here's a catcher mitt, George. You're the catcher. Don, here's a fielder's mitt. Try it on. See how it fits. We race home and toss a ball back and forth. We yell and shout. Make the calls with a hard baseball. Real leather mitts. We race upstairs to show them to Mother. Her eyes grow dark. She breathes deeply. Her mouth open like she's trying to find words, any words, and she looks straight at Dad. You didn't spend the food money, did you? Dad looks at the floor like he's had a hard life. Time the boys had gloves. You boys go downstairs while we talk, Mom says. We play one more game on the sidewalk, whipping the ball, feeling the sting smart in the pocket. Why do you think this experience was memorable to Donald? What emotions did you feel, or do you think Donald felt? The next poem we're going to read is called The New Land. The New Land. In fourth grade, we moved from our second-floor city apartment, sidewalks, dirt, and noise, to a house in the country with an apple tree, a big yard, and a rundown shack. We can go make into a clubhouse. Our dog Rag sniffs the grass and wags her tail. The first morning, I look out the window at tall fir trees and an inlet that reaches in from the sea. Oops. I set out to explore the land, find the water. I walk down a road, across railroad tracks, and up a high bank. I follow an avenue of trees, then poke down a path past mosses and briars, sweet-smelling bushes. A puff of southwest wind brings the sharp smell of low tide, and through an opening of red-leafed sumach, I see the dark blue waters of the inlet. The shore is empty, except for the two sandpipers poking the beach for food. I pick up a thin rock and skip it across the water. You know, this one really has a strong sense of place in the poem. Okay, let's read another one. Making Pies with Grandfather. I like this one. So, Making Pies with Grandfather. Grandfather sings while he works. His hands move slowly, peeling apples, rolling dough, sprinkling sugar and cinnamon until a pie appears in the kitchen of his restaurant. Another bag of sugar, please. I race to the storeroom and I plop it on the counter. My, you're speedy. He's short of apples and I get the peeler, place the apples on 2 spikes, turn the crank, watch the ribbons of peel drop to the counter. He laughs. How did you know how to use that machine? 6 apple pies on the counter, ready for the oven. I can't believe we've made 6 pies before 7 a.m. Of course, I've never had Speedy help me like this before. He lifts the handle to the giant oven door. A blast of hot air strikes us in the face. Put on these mittens. I think a boy who works so fast is old enough to put pies in the oven. Okay, the next one we're going to read is multiplication. Multiplication, my report card, math, unsatisfactory. I hate numbers. They have to be just right. People need to read. They don't need math. Mother sees Miss Adams, my teacher, after school. You don't know your multiplication tables. We go to work after supper. Mother has flashcards, questions on one side, answers on the other, 9 times 3, 4 times 7, 8 times 8. I practice alone, scratch Rag's head, and leisurely turn the cards. I miss my book. Mother orders me to the kitchen. It's serious when we work in the kitchen. We sit on straight back oak chairs. She flashes the cards. I have to speak fast. Some I don't get, some I never get. 8 times 8, 9 times 7, 9 times 3. George looks over my shoulder. Even my little brother knows the right answers before I do. Rags looks sad and leaves the room. Learning to ride a bike. Mother buys 2 secondhand bikes. 15 minutes after George gets on his first bike, he rides down the street. Mother shows me how to lift the pedal on the right side, push down with my right foot, and pump. She runs next to me, but every time she lets go, I pedal 2 times and fall over. Turn your wheel for balance, she shouts. Now the other way. No, not that way, the other way. I quit trying. While my little brother, George, rides off to play ball with his friends, I stay home and read my book. Mother orders me to the kitchen. It's serious when we work in the kitchen. Oops, that's not the right page. Okay, let's see. Page 41, 42. Get out of the house and try again, Mother orders. I go through the same routine, pedal twice, lose balance, and dump myself to the ground. One night after supper, I play with friends on their scooter, turn in this way and that, spin down the sidewalk. It is getting dark, but I pull my bicycle out of the garage, hop on, and ride off. The next day, I ride off to go fishing with Jimmy, while my book sits on the desk in my bedroom. The accident. One May morning, we hear the squeal of brakes. Oh no, my mother says. She knows what that sound means. Rags lies in the gutter. She gets up on her front paws when we run to her, but she can't move the back ones. Mother says her back is broken. We need to take her to the vet. We're all crying, even Mom and Dad. The vet says she can live, but she'll never walk again. We talk it over, say goodbye to Rags, and she licks my hand through the wire cage for the last time. I can't stop crying. The next day, I take my mother's evening purse with jewels on the outside, collect all Rag's hair from the rug in the corners of my room and under the couch, rub it under my nose, sniff it, cry some more, and put the purse under some papers in my desk drawer. Why do you think Donald chose to write about all his memories in the form of poems? What do you learn about him and his childhood from hearing his poems? Today, we discovered that memories can come from many different places in our lives and can be about many different things. The common thread of these memories is that they are special, memorable, poignant, and/or important. Donald chose to write a collection of poems to reflect the special memories of his life. His poems are filled with emotion, and after reading some of his poems, we felt like we knew him. How a writer chooses to write his or her memories is an important decision. Writers can choose to write their memoirs, in the form of picture books or short stories or poems, as Donald did.